The first time I heard that Jay-Z probably was my father when I was 8 years old, my mom came up to me and was like, "Hey Rob, you know I got something to tell you. That's your dad for real. That you don't just say this type of person is your father, Jay-Z."
I'm trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is?
After being cleared of recent charges, Jay-Z seems to be in some serious trouble because a new expose has surfaced. Just when he might have thought he was out of trouble, a new claim has surfaced, this time from someone claiming to be Jay-Z's long-lost son. This revelation could destroy the music mogul's carefully constructed image as a family man.
I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like, it's not as far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like, it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like, this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair. I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying, Sean Carter, that's what she was calling me at first before she was calling it Jay-Z, and I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, you know, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father, and I just want you to know. And she continued to tell me that over the years and over the years and over the years, even until I was grown. He never tried to contact me in any type of way, and that's all I'm asking is, like, cause I honestly really want the case to be over with. Like, I've been going through, just like I said, a lot, and as I said, I'm not chasing nobody. I'm not trying to do this to make somebody seem like a bad person, a bad father. I'm not trying to make nobody seem like a bad person or nothing. I'm just really coming out here for the truth. I don't want no money or anything. I wasn't looking for none of that. I just want to know the truth. And if I can't go to the courts and get the truth, like, what is it really? Why are you? What is it? I just really want it over. It's something that's really affecting my life, and I just want it over with. I work every day. I also have my own kids to take care of. So it's like, it's been a journey for me, and it's just like, you know, I just got so much on my name right now. I never ask for money. I don't do interviews just saying, hey, Jay-Z, give me your money, or I'm coming after Jay-Z for his money. I never did that. I'm not that type of person. I work for everything. Next is, I'm just trying to basically make sure no other kids or nobody else in the world has to go through this. Basically, don't feel afraid to go to court and see if a person is your biological parents. You know, so many people are scared, and this is a big thing in the world. A lot of people don't have their fathers because they scared to go out and search for them, and sometimes it only take a little search. You know, go search, and if it's wrong, we're adults. Well, most of us adults, even for the teenagers, this being a role model for them, showing you can't go in the courtroom, and if you're doing everything correctly, you should be able to just get treated as equal as the other person. I've always been a person that I never hate anyone. I never, you know, I don't walk around with hate for a person. So I try to teach my kids to just be the best that you can be. So that's just a motto I go off. I would never hate Jay-Z. You know, it was never that type thing. You know, I respect him for everything he did. And as I said, I've been going through a whole lot through these years because this case, like me and my mom, my godmom, we didn't seen the worst. We didn't have people, you know, slander my name like you want Jay-Z money, and I hear it all. I'm going to fight until I'm not here no more, and it's never going to be against no one. Like, you know, I'm going to continue to fight. It'll take another 10 years, maybe another 50. Maybe I'll take this to the grave with me, but everybody can.
The problem worsened as Jay-Z allegedly pulled strings to avoid responsibility once more. His unwillingness to appear in court and take a paternity test has angered many who accuse him of playing both sides with his ties to Diddy. It's difficult not to wonder, could karma finally catch up to Jay-Z in 2025? Of course, he was too young to begin this paternity dispute at age 8, so it began in 2010, 2 years later.
Of course, as an 8-year-old, he could not start this paternity battle. So it all started in 2010, 2 years after Jay-Z married Beyoncé. At this point, Wanda, his mother, was not doing well. As you guys heard earlier, she has since passed away. Wanda claims that she had only hooked up with 2 men when she was in high school, and it's Robert and Jay-Z. Robert didn't have any issues taking this paternity test, and when he did, they found out that he was not in fact the father. So, who does that leave? Because we found out that Robert is not Ramir's father, Robert's name was removed from his birth certificate by the court and has remained blank ever since then. In 2011, Wanda handed over custody of Ramir to his godmother because she wasn't doing well. And Lily has put on this fight in court to prove that Jay-Z is in fact his father. So Wanda kind of had to step out, but then Lily, the godmother, is like, okay, I will take care of Ramir and we will also challenge this in court and get to the bottom of it. Lily was quoted saying that this situation was so hard for Ramir because he had his mother ripped away from him and he had no one to call dad. That same year that Lily stepped in, she actually contacted Jay-Z's attorney and asked for him to undergo a DNA test. Obviously, Jay-Z wouldn't comply. And, you know, if you look at Jay-Z, he's a huge star. There's probably a lot of other people who do this to him and other celebrities as well. They try to pretend that they're pregnant with their baby. Like, I remember like someone did that to Justin Bieber like a long time ago. And, you know, it can get complicated because there are some serious clout chasers. But Lily and Ramir began to pursue legal action against Jay-Z in 2012. This battle has spanned more than 10 years and seen the pair embroiled in endless legal tussles with the rapper. Ramir claims that Jay-Z's legal team has made endless attempts to subvert the legal system in order to avoid taking a paternity test, which the 30-year-old claims would put an end to this case once and for all. Because, you know, if you're not the dad, if you're not concerned, like if you were to just do this, then we can close the book. But it seems like he's got something to hide, especially because Ramir has been consistently trying to get this question answered for so long. Personally, I don't believe that he's making it up, because if they were, they probably would have given up by now. Jay-Z's legal team said that the rapper should be exempt from undergoing a DNA test in New Jersey because he did not live or own any property in the state. So there's no reason for him to be associated with New Jersey and have to listen to anything that New Jersey has to say because he doesn't even own land there. But Jay-Z isn't telling the truth. Ramir's attorneys immediately appealed the verdict, insisting that they had evidence in the form of 3 property deeds and tax records, showing that Jay-Z did in fact own a couple of properties. And actually, for several of those properties, Jay-Z is still listed as the owner. So how are you gonna act like you don't have any property there when you actually do and it can be proven true? So it's like now your lawyers are lying to the courts. What's insane to me is that this case was still dismissed because they said that they could not prove that Sean Corey Carter was listed on any of the deeds. This is where I get a little bit confused because you do see his name up there under owners, but I think that he works with obviously a bunch of different people, so there are also other owners as well, but that doesn't like deny the fact that he clearly owns something in New Jersey for whatever reason. I mean, you could assume it's just for him. Lily, Ramir's godmother, submitted these documents to the court to show that Jay-Z did in fact own properties in New Jersey, which would give the court jurisdiction to require DNA testing. But the court, however, ruled in favor of Jay-Z, the guy with a bunch of money, a bunch of influence. Makes sense to me, right? But a lot of people are calling BS. I mean, the NAACP and ACLU, which are 2 civil rights organizations, are actually fighting with Ramir to try to get this DNA testing done. So these big agencies are like, wait, hold up, there is something wrong here. I mean, the court is dismissing a case because they claim there aren't properties, but there are properties. And now these civil rights groups are getting involved.
Let's not forget about the bombshell case that rocked Jay-Z's world just last month. A woman accused him of unspeakable acts, allegedly committed alongside his so-called partner in crime, Diddy. Insiders suggest that Jay-Z attempted to hush the situation with a hefty payout, a tactic that's certainly not out of reach for the billionaire rapper.
The accusation alone has Jay-Z and his team fighting back. First, he vehemently denied the allegation on the Roc Nation social media page and claimed Busby was extorting him for money, while also throwing shots at Busby, calling him a deplorable human, saying the Texas attorney has no honor or dignity, and he's just an ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. Meanwhile, Busby responded saying Jay-Z was bullying and harassing him and the plaintiff in that case, while maintaining he'd let the matter settle itself in court. But now in a new lawsuit, a Texas man is claiming Jay-Z's lawyers are bribing people to sue Busby and his law firm. This 13-page lawsuit was filed on January 3rd in Harris County, Texas, and the plaintiff in the filing is being represented by none other than Busby's law firm, who filed the suit on his behalf. Now, Jose Maldonado, who is the plaintiff in this suit, is suing Jay-Z's attorneys and his company Roc Nation, but not Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z himself. According to the lawsuit, the defendants in this suit are Marcy Bryan Croft, her law firm MJ Legal, Roc Nation, and the law firm who is representing Jay-Z, Quinn Emanuel Urquhart and Sullivan. They allege the defendants conspired to obstruct justice by engaging in shadowy operatives to illegally get more than 24 current and former clients of Busby law firm to turn around and sue them. The suit claims Roc Nation is financing this alleged effort, while attorneys Marcy Croft and the law firm Quinn Emanuel are orchestrating this whole thing. According to the suit, the defendants' agents were pretending to work for the state of Texas and allegedly flashed fake badges, which the suit says wasn't very smart or careful, but also illegal. The suit states the defendants' agents offered as much as $10 grand to a former client to sue the Busby law firm, but the so-called agents were allegedly caught on audio tape red-handed. The suit claims attorney Marcy Croft, who is a lawyer but also a member of Team Roc, was orchestrating that whole effort. Then in another recording, those agents were describing in great detail the alleged criminal conspiracy. The suit claims they went so far to admit the lawsuits would be reported in the press, and some former clients already accepted money to join that alleged effort. As I mentioned, Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z, isn't named as a defendant in the lawsuit. However, the suit claims Roc Nation and Jay-Z are synonymous, given the mogul is the founder and chairman. The lawsuit acknowledges Busby's law firm filed the lawsuit against Jay-Z in New York federal court, and as a result, Jay-Z sued Busby's law firm in Los Angeles state court. But the suit claims while all of that legal back and forth was going on, Jay-Z's attorneys who represent himself and his Roc Nation denied in open court and in the press their involvement in the alleged scheme. He claims the defendants used him as a pawn. He alleges on behalf of Marcy Croft, 2 people attempted to contact him many times and went so far as to go to what they believed to be Maldonado's home. Instead, they went to his dad's house and allegedly identified themselves as federal officers. After realizing they were at the wrong home, they continued to contact Maldonado, and Maldonado claims they were pushy. Once they got in touch with him, he claims those individuals said they were with the state and they were putting together a lawsuit on behalf of Marcy Croft and the company she worked for. The suit alleges Croft said she would assign Maldonado's case to someone who could get him a lot of money. Instead, Maldonado contacted the Busby law firm, and now they're suing for solicitation and civil conspiracy. In a statement to the Houston Chronicle, Busby said, quote, "The conduct alleged by Mr. Maldonado is illegal and unethical. We know investigators have gone all over the United States illegally contacting our former clients to try to entice them with money to sue our firm. According to Mr. Maldonado, we now know who is behind this effort. We won't be intimidated nor deterred in our important work. I expect more lawsuits will follow as we continue to hear former clients report this egregious conduct," end quote. But Marcy Croft fired back against the allegations, saying the lawsuit reeks of desperation. She also told the Houston Chronicle, quote, "For over 25 years, I've dedicated my career to exposing and dismantling networks of fraud and manipulation. I didn't ask to be a part of this fight, but now that he's dragged me into it, he should know that I'm not someone who backs down. Mr. Busby should be worried. Truth and justice are on my side, and I have every intention of holding him accountable." It doesn't seem like the back and forth between Tony Busby and Jay-Z and his attorneys are slowing down anytime soon. So let's bring on attorney and litigator Rich Schoenstein to get his take on this. Rich, always great to see you. What's your reaction to this lawsuit, especially since Tony Busby has made these allegations before?
Yeah, well, there's this whole sideshow now between Tony Busby and the lawyers who are purportedly representing Jay-Z, especially Quinn Emanuel. There's been some litigation already, and now this is a new suit down in Texas that to some extent is kind of a sideshow, right? The main question are still these really salacious claims against Sean Combs and against Jay-Z and potentially against other people about what happened. And now there's all this stuff between the attorneys that is very interesting for a guy like me, but
not to mention the shocking case that rocked Jay-Z's world last month, in which a lady accused him of heinous crimes allegedly done with his putative partner in crime. According to Diddy insiders, Jay-Z tried to defuse the situation by offering a sizable settlement, which is undoubtedly not an unaffordable technique for the multi-billionaire rapper. The charge alone has Jay-Z and his staff
having girl problems. I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a The 99 Problems rapper is adding one more problem to his list. In an amended civil complaint, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, is now being accused of drugging and a 13-year-old girl after party following the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. The lawsuit was originally filed in October against Sean Diddy Combs, now refiled to openly name Jay-Z as his alleged co-conspirator. Combs is currently behind bars pending trial on federal charges including trafficking.
For Jay-Z, this presents a very difficult situation because unlike Sean Combs, Jay-Z doesn't have the opportunity to say that he's being charged criminally and that this civil case should be paused. Instead, this case could go forward and he would have to sit for depositions, argue, defend, show where his whereabouts were, and the light of day could be very damaging to him both in the court of law and the court of public opinion.
Jay-Z has been famously married to Beyoncé for 16 years. They have 3 children together. Today, Jay-Z denying all allegations, saying in part, "My only heartbreak is for my family," adding, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
This case has taken on new significance as it officially implicates Jay-Z in Diddy's ongoing scandal, placing him directly under federal investigation. While the lawsuit itself is no longer active, its revelations now position Jay-Z in the center of the controversy. Legal analysts predict this connection could expose more secrets about Hollywood's darkest corners.
She's going by Jane Doe in this case, filed the complaint back in October, but has just now revised it to include Jay-Z, making him the first celebrity to actually be named in a case with Diddy. And let's just say that the internet is not surprised, nor do they have much sympathy. Somebody commented and said, "This is the least surprising headline I've read on X in years." Another person said, "I was waiting for the Jay-Z stories. I believe it." I mean, guys, like the comments go on for miles here. Well, we tried to tell you, not shocked. We already knew he was involved. Now, obviously, this is incredibly important to note, especially if we're being consistent here, but in this country, people are innocent until proven guilty. Even people who have been close friends with Diddy for like 30 years and most likely knew about or attended his freak-offs, even they are innocent until proven guilty. That is how our justice system works, and hopefully we still have a shred of integrity. But in the court of public opinion, Jay-Z is done, and apparently he's been done for a while. Somebody commented and said, "Jay-Z was close friends with R. Kelly, Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and now suddenly there's no way he could be a LMFAO." There is thread upon thread upon thread exposing him, going viral on X, literally racking up upwards of 20 million views each. One of them said, "Jay-Z a criminal turned tycoon," a thread exposing all the rapper's involvements with and a real. And the one thing that all of these threads bring up and really start with is the age discrepancy with when he met and started dating Beyoncé, who was 12 years younger than him, and the fact that they've never really given a clear answer. They've said anything from 15 years old to 19 years old.
This 13-year-old, I guess, lied to her parents about where she was at this night, and she wanted to be at the VMAs. So she rolls over to the Radio City Music Hall. This is in New York City, where the VMAs was being hosted, and she's like trying to get into the VMAs, She can't get in. She's going up to limo drivers and trying to shoot her shot, which at 13 years old, what the hell are you doing at the VMAs? I guess it was a different time. She ends up talking to a limo driver, discussing her plan, what she's trying to do. And apparently this driver was like, "Hey, you know, Diddy likes young girls," I'm paraphrasing here, "and you're exactly perfect for the job here." And that's how she ends up getting exactly what she's wanted here. She goes to this after party hosted by P. Diddy, and she's there with Sean Diddy Combs, Sean Carter, who we know as Jay-Z, and Celebrity B, which is this female celebrity.
Connected to Diddy's recurring controversies, the public is becoming more doubtful, which feeds the fire, even if his lawyer has provided evidence to support his innocence. Diddy's ex-bodyguard Jen Deal has made further shocking accusations against the Rockaman. According to the lawsuit, legend Jane Doe was dropped off at the VMAs at Radio City Music Hall by a friend without a ticket to the event. She allegedly approached limousine drivers in hopes of getting access to the show or an exclusive afterparty. The lawsuit claims that back in 2000, when Jane Doe was just 13 years old, Diddy Combs and another person committed an unspeakable act at a house party following the MTV Video Music Awards in New York City, one motorist asserting.
Of inconsistencies. I wanted everybody to understand that this never happened. This is completely false. You have to look at the timeline. So there's an old expression that time doesn't lie. everything else that I'm talking about, these glaring inconsistencies, these are not inconsistencies. These are not problems with this story. This is utter falsehoods. Time never lies. And so if you look at the time, no matter what, this couldn't have happened. It's not even possible that this happened.
Now, as you heard there, Jay-Z's attorney saying that these aren't just inconsistencies in Jane Doe's case. He's saying that the entire thing is false. In fact, he says it's not even possible that Jay-Z was there. Now, if we go back to Jane Doe's initial complaint, she alleges that she was by both Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs at an after party for the MTV Video Music Awards in the year 2000. Now, this after party, she said, was held at a White House that was outside of the city. Well, Jay-Z's attorney actually showed photos of Jay-Z that night at an after party, but it was in New York City. So he says, if you look at the timeline, it's not possible that Jay-Z was in the suburbs at this alleged after party because he was photographed being somewhere else. Now, in her initial complaint, Jane Doe also said that she got to this alleged after party by getting into a limo from a driver outside of the MTV VMAs who said that they worked for Sean Combs. Well, today, Jay-Z's attorney is saying that's not possible because the limousine line was barricaded by the police and fans were not able to access it. Now, I reached out to Jane Doe's attorney. His name is Tony Busby. He says that he is representing over 120 accusers of Sean Diddy Combs. This is the first accuser to come forward and name Jay-Z, but he tells me that he stands by his client. He says that they are still vetting her, but when I asked about the vetting process, here's what he told me. He said that 4 individuals at his firm interviewed the client and checked details. He says that a background check was run on Jane Doe and that his firm actually engaged a seasoned investigator to vet some details she disclosed to us, and he said, quote, those results were consistent with what the client had told us. He also says that she has signed 2 separate affidavits, and he tells me, quote, courts exist to resolve factual disputes. Our client remains adamant about her claim.
We turn now to the latest on the allegations against Jay-Z, accused of then 13-year-old girl with Sean Diddy Combs at an after party back in 2000. Both men have denied all wrongdoing. Jay-Z's attorney holding a closed-door meeting with select members of the media yesterday, insisting, quote, this never happened.
And joining us now is ABC News contributor and attorney Brian Buckmeyer for more on this story. Good to see you, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So Jay-Z's attorney has outlined what he believes are inconsistencies in the accuser's account of what happened. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so the major pillars I would say would be location, witnesses, details, and timeline. Location being that this allegedly started off at Radio City, and according to the alleged accuser, she said that she was in the car for 20 minutes before getting to Sean Combs' house where the after party was hosted, to a large white house in a U-shaped driveway. Now, if you're from the New York area and you know where Radio City is, 20 minutes in any direction does not get you to that kind of real estate. And that's what the attorney is pointing out here. Witnesses. The accuser again says that she saw specific people at that after party, but people were saying, no, this person was touring. The witnesses, the alleged accuser's own father says, I don't remember picking her up after a 5-hour drive from Rochester to New York after this night. And then details. She's saying that she watched the show on the Jumbotron, where on the VMAs of that year, there was no Jumbotron, and the timeline as to how this all could have occurred, the attorney is saying it doesn't match up based on where people were at specific times.
I'm curious your thoughts, because Jay-Z's attorney met with select members of the media. It was a closed-door meeting. What do you make of this strategy?
Well, initially, where were we in this closed meeting? That's what my thoughts are, right? But I think it's smart because this is a situation where it's not only in the court of law, but also the court of public opinion. And I think Alex, the attorney, is really pushing back on the court of public opinion to try to help the court of law arguments, because when you look at the timeline, you look at the details, yeah, there are some inconsistencies.
And the accuser has acknowledged some inconsistencies in her story. So how often does something like this happen in a case like this?
When it comes to cases where it's he said, she said, because it's so far ago, we're talking about an incident that has allegedly happened September 7th of 2000. It comes down to just the credibility of individuals. And people have issues with memory. It makes sense. I don't remember what I did on September 7th of 2000. But when some of these inconsistencies just go against the idea of just like geography, timeline, a fact that a father didn't even remember this. That's where I think there's some real issues for Tony Busby and the accuser's claims.
It's got to be a big blow for the case.
I would imagine so, but these aren't legal filings. This is just maybe a precursor to that. So we have to see what Alex Spiro ends up filing in court and what the response is from the Tony Busby and the accuser and what the court decides.
When you look at the language from Jay-Z's attorney, it seems they're really trying to...
What do you think? Could this be the start of the end for yet another rap? Tell us in the comments, Mogul. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking music industry secrets if you're here for the drama.